sitting in the garage.
So, and I said, I don't look for Greg to be here much longer. He said, "Did you say that?" Or I said, "I just do." I said, "I didn't get any detail, but I felt like the Lord was going to give me about 6.
Take it at the podium.
I'd like to call to order the Tuesday, July 15th, 2025 meeting of the Danville City Council. Madam Clerk, roll call to establish a quorum, please.
Mayor Ricky Williams Jr.,
Present.
Vice Mayor Eve Ledwig,
Present.
Alderman Ed Butler, Carolyn Wands,
Present.
James Pichard,
Present.
Tom Hightower,
Here.
Barry Johnson,
Present.
Mike O'Kane,
Here.
Mike Poor,
Present.
Rick Streebing,
Here.
Sherry Pickering,
Here.
Trisha Teague,
Present.
Jaleel Jones,
Here.
Doug Arns,
Present.
John Cooper,
Here.
13 present.
13 present. Let the record reflect we do have a quorum. At this time, we will have the invocation led by the Reverend James Ford, pastor of Abundant Life Pentecostal Church of God, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Alderman Johnson. Please rise.
Father, we thank you for the city of Danville. And Father, I thank you tonight that we have ministers across this city that are interested in what is happening in our city. We pray, Lord, that you just touch them, and Lord, they influence so many people. And Father, for the city council, I pray your guidance, your direction for the city council, for the mayor, Lord, as he leads our city. I pray, Lord, that your Holy Spirit would just touch each and every one of them. Protect those, Lord, that are in law enforcement here in our city. Keep your hand upon them. On the fire departments, keep your hand upon them. Keep them safe. And all the city leaders, Lord, I just ask your special blessing on their life in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pastor Ford, if you'd like to share anything about recent events or upcoming events at your church,
Yeah.
we'd be glad to hear about that.
We're pretty busy right now with, we've started working out at Fair Oaks, busing young people into our church on Thursday nights, trying to reach as many in that area as we can. We had 18 last week, and we've got names of 100 young people at Fair Oaks that is interested in coming to our meetings on Thursday night. We need transportation. I'm looking for a bus that we can get hold of, and so that we can press forward. It's so important. Things that you want to see done, things that we want to see done, has to start with reaching the teenage group that we now have in our city, because it's vital that we touch that life. Many of the things that we've seen happen in the last few months may not have happened if we got hold of those people early enough. So if you would, just remember us. I know that, you know, you can't do nothing as far as our part of that is concerned, but, you know, we support whatever you do here and how important that it is to the city of Danville, to do everything that we can possibly do to make Danville the city that we all can be proud of. It is very important. Have to apologize, I've got another meeting I didn't know about when I scheduled being here tonight, but again, that's part of what my life seems to be. They don't know that I'm getting older, you know, but they just keep me busy. All right, Lord bless, and we'll see you next time I'm in.
Thank you, Pastor and Mrs. Ford. We appreciate you and everything that y'all do for our community. You have before you the minutes of the July 1st meeting. Is there a motion to approve those?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion or debate? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. You also have before you an agenda this evening. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion or debate? Roll call vote, please. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Sorry, I don't want to take any more time than we. At this time, we will have my report. I do not have any proclamations. However, I do have a couple of board, committee, and personnel appointments. First, I would entertain a motion to reappoint Mrs. Tammy Wilson, Planning and Zoning Commission, with a term to expire of June 2027. Is there a motion to do so?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion or debate? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. Mrs. Wilson has been a very great member of this commission, so glad to have her back. At this time, I'd also like a motion to concur with the appointment of Mrs. Brittany Morris Randall to the Vermilion County Housing Authority Board. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion or debate? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. Are there any reports of boards, agencies, or commissions? Seeing none, just a couple of items of information. I would just remind you that we have some important things coming up. Number one, we have the Friendly Town Mini Marathon for the kiddos, and also there will be inflatables, healthy snacks, outdoor games, and after school registration. That will be on July 26th from 10 to 1 at Friendly Town in Lincoln Park. So we hope to see you guys there. Then also, just a reminder, the next day, that Sunday, July 27th, from 2 to 4 p.m. at Lincoln Park, we will have Mary Thompson Community Day. We're really excited that this year we're going to have Candy Foster in the Shades of Blue. For those of you who aren't familiar, he is an excellent jazz and blues musician. He's played with legends all over the country and the world, and he's right from here in Danville. He lives over in the Champaign area now, so he'll be with us that day. There will be food, some kid-friendly activities. We'll have a touch of truck, and we will also have some agencies on hand as well, providing information to our citizens. I really want to thank my assistant, Heather Runyon, and Rihanna Alice, and our community relations team for helping get things together. And also, we appreciate the Human Relations Commission for their good work. As a reminder, I'm excited to say that Ms. Davis will be with us as our new Human Relations Administrator on August 4th, and we're just looking forward to having her join the team. At this time, we'll receive our petitions, communications, and audience comments. Madam Clerk.
Okay. Has everyone had a chance to fill out an audience card that would like to speak?
Madam Clerk, I'm not sure if we're having a bit of trouble hearing you. There we go. Okay.
When I call your name, please come to the podium. You'll have 3 minutes to speak. I've got Dean Carlton regarding balloons over Vermilion.
Good evening. I am Dean Carlton. I'm a member of the Board of Directors of Balloons Over Vermilion and have been since the origin. I am here to share such great news. We had a wonderful, wonderful weekend at the airport and in the city of Danville. There were thousands and thousands of people came here. Hotel rooms were hard to find. We did have some weather issues. It's ballooning. There's always a weather issue. But we were able to prevail. We actually got the Splash and Dash in on Thursday. We got a beautiful flight Friday morning before the event. Friday evening, we had I know many of you were there, but we were able to get a windy glow. The pilots and their crews worked very, very hard to make it look easy. And then Saturday morning, it rained and was windy. And we had a beautiful, absolutely beautiful glow on Saturday night after a little short hop across the airport. The flying direction to the east is not particularly good. There's just no place to land a balloon out there. We all had a great time, but it's only because of all of the people that make this happen. We had hundreds and hundreds of volunteers and staff who parked cars. They cleaned up trash. They fed hungry pilots and crew. They built fences. They assisted the balloonists with their equipment, and they guided traffic in and out. Everything went perfectly, at least from the outside. There's always some activities, but it was very, very, very well done. I am here to give special thanks to the city of Danville and some employees in particular. Jeff Pope, Patrick Lewis, and Eric Kinzer were just incredible. They were incredible to have. We appreciate you allowing us to borrow them, to work them very hard. Without them, this would be very, very challenging. Those three guys get done what 6 to 10 other people do. They know what they're doing. They take control. You don't have to hold their hand. They make it happen. We'd also like to put a shout out for retired city employee Steve Lane, who we think is still there and may have slept there many nights. We didn't see him anywhere else other than the airport. It was a great event. We don't have any numbers, but we know the gate was good. As you know, we try to take any excess money we have and we put it back in our community, especially if we can find places that help our kids. To date, not counting this year, Balloons Over Vermilion and our sister agency, Festival of Trees, have donated and granted $685,000 to children's charities or activities that are in Vermilion County. And we're very proud of that, and we're looking forward to a great year. Thanks again for your participation. We appreciate the partnerships that Balloons Over Vermilion and the city of Danville have, and we thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Carlton, and we appreciate everything that you all do for the community.
John Stallcup of Owens Corning regarding the sewer metering change to measured outflow.
Yes, thank you. Again, my name is John Stallcup. I'm the plant manager of Owens Corning Danville here. Again, my request, I'm here on behalf of the Public Works ordinance that is to align billing, sewer billing to actual outflow versus inflow.
Mr. Stallcup, could you please raise the
Sure.
microphone?
Sorry
There
about
you go.
that.
Thank you.
That better?
Yes, sir.
Sorry about that. First person that ever said they couldn't hear me, sorry. But I do appreciate, first of all, I want to thank the city for hearing our need and hearing our concern. There are a lot of cost pressures for manufacturers in the area. We all know, I've been around this community my whole life, so seen a lot of good employers come and go. And, you know, obviously we want to stay competitive. We want to stay in the community, and we need city government to help work with us when there's a reasonable request. Feels though this was a reasonable request. City worked with us, and again, the ask is that we just adjust the sewage billing to what our actual outflow is. That's basically what we're doing with Danville Sanitary, and it's the same meter that we provide that data. We're asking that we be billed at the same rate. So,
Thank you, Mr. Stallcup.
my request. Thank you.
Mr. Stallcup would be available for questions should we need him at that time.
P.G. Bourne of Danville.
PJ Bourne.
My apologies.
No problem. I'll correct you. It's not a problem. So I'm here again, and I continue to come. When I can't come, my spirit will be here. And it's all in reference to the changing of my street. First of all, I want to thank God for allowing you to have Pastor Ford to do such a prayer. If that prayer was any volume to anyone under the sound of his voice, I hope that you'll acknowledge that and do right. Secondly, last time I was here, last Tuesday, Mike Purr said, and let me write it, he said, do for one, do for all. I find that very difficult to believe because I've been coming here every week, and yet again, no one wants to acknowledge the fact that I own the street and I want to change the name. Also, we also did the Pledge of Allegiance. It says justice for all. Justice is not for all. You choose who you want, when you want, how you want, and that's not the way it should be. All the monies of all the citizens here in Danville go in the same pot, and I think we all should be treated the same. So again, I look at your rules and regulations, and in the article 157.04, it says changing the name of street. All I had to do was come here, bring it to your attention, and because I do not adhere to anyone else on that street, it's just me on the street by itself. It's not going to affect anyone's address, only mine. And yet the city that I love, the city that I sleep in, the city that I pray for, the city that I have, the city that I encourage, the city that I raise my kids in, seem to tell me no, that should not be. You had other choices for Tyson Crump. I was told also at one of the meetings that if I want to do anything according to Doug, I should put something into the city. I do. I put something into the city every day. I'm praying for people like you and like me, each and every day to do your work and to do your job. And so I come again and ask, would you all acknowledge the fact that I'm the only one that live on the street? I'm the only one, the only house, the only person. It's not going to affect anyone's address but mine. So if we really believe the prayer that we're being prayed, if we really believe the Pledge of Allegiance that we're saying, if we really believe and trust the people that we're here with, then we should acknowledge the fact that we are not all treated equal and being treated equally, and justice is not being served. What is wrong with me changing the street? Kara, you said, well, what if somebody wants to move, or I'm there? You said that before. You know, somebody might want to live in the street, and if I should move. Well, I'm not moving. I'm going to be there. And so because of that, we don't know the future. Why can I not change the street? What is it about the city council that does not want me to change the street? I, again, am the only one there, Mike. And if we're going to do, like you said last week, justice for all, do for one, do for all, why can't we start today? Why can't we really start today? Why can't we start doing what the Pledge of Allegiance said today? We just, rehearse it, we just know it verbally, or do we really mean what we say? It's time out for that. Sugar and salt looks the same. I think we need to put a little pepper in it. Pepper it up and start treating everybody the same and really mean what we say and what we pledge. And that's the bottom line with that. Another thing I want to bring
Thank
to your
you,
attention.
Mrs. Bourne.
Is that my 3 minutes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, I thank you for acknowledging. I'll see you all next Tuesday. Thank you.
Sabrina Kelly regarding the encampment ordinance and 10 shared principles.
Good evening. Here again. Sorry to bother everybody again, but I have to say what I have to say. As usual, I just want to say I'm not here representing any entity, any person other than myself and my own beliefs and my own thoughts. I forgot to mention something very important last time I was here. I got a little bit emotional about the recent shooting. Champaign County has adopted the 10 shared principles of the NAACP. We're right next door, and I would think that Danville and Vermilion County would like to be a good part of history, excuse me, not a good part of history, but be on a significant part of history because Illinois is the only one that's got the shared 10 principles. So I would think and would hope that we would adopt them. My next point, I know I said something about this in abortion ordinance before, and Mr. Mayor, I know you corrected me, which thank you. I know it's not in existence, I know it's not enforced, and at the same time, it still exists. We still have a new council, and I would ask for a revote. Which brings me to my next point. The naming of this street. It doesn't affect me, it doesn't affect anybody else. And the child, I've been following every Tuesday. I'll listen every Tuesday as best as I can. I can't always hear people. That's another thing I wanted to mention. I can't always hear everybody. But I've been following the story as much as I can every Tuesday. And I just like to say that with regards to the abortion ordinance, this child being born stillborn affects mainly women of color and childbearers of color as the abortion ordinance does. So I don't see why we can't name this street after the young lady, or after the child that is deceased, unfortunately. My last point is the ordinance regarding the encampment. As I said, I listen every Tuesday. So if I'm not mistaken, not every alderperson was there that evening. Also, we have a new appointed alderman, so I would hope that we could do a revote on that as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kelly.
Ed Hubbard regarding Danville tour and licenses.
Thank you. So Mayor and esteemed members of the City Council, I respectfully submit the proposal for a Danville Tourist Company, LLC, a new business entity to be legally registered in the state of Illinois. Our company is preparing to launch guided walking and historic tours of the city of Danville beginning September 4th, 2025. At this time, we are unaware of any municipal regulations or ordinance that expressly prohibit the offering or sale of guided tours within city limits. Accordingly, we intend to proceed in good faith and in full compliance with all local and state laws. We have secured commercial general liability insurance covered through a licensed insurer right here in Danville to ensure public safety in that. Our projections will serve several hundred participants during the first 2 months of operation, September and October, bringing increased visibility, enrichment, and economic activity. To ensure proper coordination with the city and establish clear expectations, we respectfully request an acknowledgement letter. Logan Crunch said that it was possible, and the mayor, and we've talked about this to find out that it was clear, but this is a formal statement for the first time. Formal recognition of the city that no current regulation prohibits the sale or conduct of guided tours. My preference would be a licensing agreement established, formal recognition, basic regulatory and licensing framework to provide formal authorization for our operations, define reasonable accommodations for our operations, define reasonable accommodations and public safety guides through such as working with the police and other organizations, clarify accessible and restricted areas for public tours,
outline expectations for any required police interaction or crowd control measures. We believe a licensing structure both benefits the city and the community by creating a foundation for safety, scalability, mutual accountability. For your consider, I've included an appendix. We're pleased to meet with any city representatives. And my proposal is that we start a licensing, which would include $100 for the first 2 years, each year, $250 for 27-029, a $500 license from 2030 beyond. All our tour guide certification, we would pay the city a fee to make sure that those people were within legal compliance, making sure that we don't have anyone who's dangerous. Is something that is very concerned, and that would be a $25 annual fee for each of those tour guides. And if for any reason they do not live up to our standards, we would let the city know so that it could be removed. And the last thing we want to do is we want to make sure that at least $1 per ticket of these sold tickets, which will be sold through Eventbrite, and anywhere in 3 hours, would then pay $1 per ticket to the city of Danville. And that should be adjusted in 2027 once we know it is. These fees are designed to whatever the city just requires, and it does not bother any tax reviews. I've got a couple of copies if anyone wants it of what I just said. They'll be available. Thank you. That's it. Thank you. I hope you will consider it and let me know.
Thank you, Mr. Hubbard.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to address the council this evening? Right, seeing none, you do have before you zoning petition number 8A, an ordinance amending Danville City Code, Chapter 150, the zoning code for ZP number 305. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion or debate? Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Wands,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Hightower,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Poor,
Yes.
Streebing,
No.
Pickering,
Yes.
Teague,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Arns,
Yes.
Cooper,
Yes.
12 yes.
12 yes, the motion carries. Item 8B is an ordinance amending the zoning ordinance and accompanying map thereto, ZP number 306. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion or debate? Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Bouchard,
Yes.
Hightower,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Poor,
Yes.
Streebing,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
Teague,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Arns,
Yes.
Cooper,
Yes.
Wands,
Yes.
13 yes.
13 yes, the motion carries. Item 8C is an ordinance amending Danville City Code, Chapter 150, zoning code for ZP number 307. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion or debate? Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Hightower,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Poor,
Yes.
Streebing,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
Teague,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Arns,
Yes.
Cooper,
Yes.
Wands,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
13 yes.
13 yes, the motion carries. You also have before you the payrolls of 7/3 and 7/11, 2025. Is there a motion to approve those?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion or debate? Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Johnson,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Poor,
Yes.
Streebing,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
Teague,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Arns,
Yes.
Cooper,
Yes.
Wands,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Hightower,
Yes.
13 yes.
13 yes, the motion carries. You also have before you the vouchers payable of July 8th and 15th, as well as special runs of July 7th and 15th of 2025. Is there a motion to approve those?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion or debate? Yes, Alderman Teague.
I have a few questions about a few different vouchers. So first being vouchers to Farnsworth Group for Garfield Park. Is this paying of money that we originally allocated and got bids on way back when, or is this new?
No,
nothing new there. This is all previously encumbered.
Okay. So this was encumbered when we first got the ARPA funds, and
Yes.
we're just now paying for.
Yep, they're
Okay.
still providing construction oversight services for the project.
Okay. I think one of the reasons why I asked is because the voucher said design, and so I'm like, well,
Yeah.
we would have designed this probably what 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
There was a this is off of the original purchase order
Okay.
that was opened up for phase 1, 2, and 3 of the construction of the pool and park together.
Mhm.
So that we're still working under that purchase order that
Okay.
was set up.
My next question is on page 3 of the July 15th vouchers. There was an abbreviation that I just wasn't familiar with. There were 2 vouchers actually for P&T refund. There were the items in the GL account column said police tow. So I just was curious as to what P&T is.
Stands for public nuisance tow.
Okay. So we refunded the people whose vehicles that we towed?
I'd have to refer that back to my command staff or at least legal.
Okay, yeah, because there were 2 of them. They were right together. They're on page 3. I'm not going to say the people's names, but they're on page 3, and they, I believe, were both $300. Yes, they are both $300. And I didn't think it would be customary for us to do a refund of a tow, but maybe I'm wrong. So I was just curious as to what that was.
Alderman Teague.
Yes.
Those 2 refunds, they were tows, and due to a mistake in the circuit clerk's office, they should not have been. There was there was a record mix-up in the clerk's office. I'm not really sure what that was, but they should not have been towed, so that's why they were refunded.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
And my last question on vouchers are concerning property tax payments. So on page 5, there's one at the top of the page, the very first item, which was just in excess of $19,000, and then about 2/3 of the way down, there's another one that is for $25,000, and then on page 6, there's another one for $1,780 and some change. So my question is, are these purchases or are these we're actually making tax payments?
Yeah. This is from the prior year properties that were acquired, and either didn't go to closing. Most of them we do go to formal closings on, but they're the proration for the rest of the amount of time that it was still a taxable property. So like Dine's Machine, for example, was one of the large checks in there, and that was from last year's acquisition and us paying this year's non-prorated property taxes.
So when we acquired those properties, then did we actually also get some escrow funds that cover the taxes upon the acquisition of those properties, or no?
No, it's credited in the actual closing statement to the city of Danville, so we pay less at actual closing. They do not get escrowed; we just pay them. So good question. Yeah.
So we reduced the amount that we paid at closing because we accounted for the taxes at that closing time.
Exactly. Yeah, they credit the city of Danville and just reduce the amount owed by the city of Danville at that time.
Okay. Thank you.
Alderman Teague, does that answer all?
Yes, those are all my questions. Thank you.
Any other questions? Roll call vote, please.
Alderman O'Kane?
Yes.
Four?
Yes.
Strebe?
Yes.
Pickering?
Yes.
Teague?
Yes.
Ludwig?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Arns?
Yes.
Cooper?
Yes.
Wands?
Yes.
Bouchard?
Yes.
Hightower?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
13 yes.
13 yes, the motion carries. At this time, we'll receive our Public Works Committee report, Chairman Four.
Thank you, Mayor. 11A is an ordinance approving the purchase of real estate at 115 North Washington for potential redevelopment. Move to dispense reading, ask for approval, and need a second.
Second.
Questions? Alderman Arns.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've got a few questions. In terms of this property, are there existing code violations or do we have any code enforcement activities involving this building?
I'm not sure of their existence at this time. From my analysis, at least from the front facade standpoint, there could be. But I can get in to Citizen Serve and let you know exactly, Alderman.
Okay.
Barnes. Yep.
The surrounding properties on the other three sides all appear to be owned by an industrial owner anyway. I guess so. Regarding potential redevelopment, I'm assuming that this parcel or this property is not necessary for the transfer zone or the expansion of the bus garage. I'm sorry, not the transfer zone, and that's why it's proposing to take funds out of the community reinvestment fund.
Yeah, exactly. So any proposed development onto the industrially owned lots, that may occur, but only to the north. This is just for the character of the neighborhood.
Okay, and in terms of the ordinance itself reflects a potential for redevelopment, recognizing that it is somewhat landlocked on three sides and on a very low volume street, and recognizing the city has spent hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to improve both Jackson and Hazel Street, that at least to this point has not spurred additional development. Why do we think this would be attractive for the developer?
This is just that language is just grouping it into the potential project on the expansion directly to the west.
Okay. Well, as I've stated before, and I think some other aldermen have stated before, it leaves a bad taste for the city to continue to spend taxpayer dollars to buy buildings so that we can spend more taxpayer dollars to knock them down. My anticipation is the size of this structure, it would probably be a six-figure demo, if not more, considering if there's asbestos or the extent of it. I gave you all pictures because I certainly am interested in improving the appearance of the community. But Washington Street is a very low volume street, and it is an industrial corridor. Across the street are other buildings that look very similar. In particular, we have so many hundreds and hundreds of households in our neighborhoods that have residents living next door to undesirable conditions and have been living there for years. And I guess the question is to the mayor is, how does this rise to a level of priority for us to spend upwards of $130,000? That's at least probably 10 houses or so at this time. Based on what I see as I drive the community, this building can sit here for a long, long time before it impacts anyone to the negative. And so I guess I would ask that this either be removed from the agenda or the council be provided a timeline on when the rest of all these houses are going to be torn down. We've had people waiting, as the mayor has indicated, 5 to 10 years, hoping something that's next door. We've had residents, senior citizens come here and talk about the need for blight removal immediately next to them. And we're proposing to spend upwards of $125,000 on a commercial corridor that has no residents nearby. How is that a priority?
So first of all, I very much appreciate the question. I truly do, because I think we have to prioritize things. I am not proposing, nor do I believe the staff is proposing, that we demolish this immediately. What has happened many times, as you've known from your previous employee here, is that people who do not have resources acquire properties when they're of low value like this. Then they do all kinds of things, or they don't do all kinds of things in them, which create illicit activity and cause more problems for our police, for our code enforcement, and things like that. So what we wish to do is to prevent further problems for our community by acquiring this property. As far as it being a priority to demolish, it's not a priority to demolish it. What I would say, though, is thankfully, we set aside $4 million for Brazil to tear that down. If things continue to go well, our portion is only at $1.2 million. That leaves us $2.8 million to tear down any other bad structures that do exist in the downtown area. So there's a possibility we could use that money, some of that money, for this if the council so chose. $100,000, I do think that estimate is a bit high, but who knows about it. But the bottom line is, as you and I both know very well, if we don't acquire this, someone will, probably for $5,000, and then it'll rot and we'll have to deal with it anyways, except we'll have to spend dozens of hours of inspector time, court time, which translates to tens of thousands of dollars for the public. We'll have to spend a lot of public works time, which also translates into $10,000. So quite honestly, in my opinion, $30 is less than the time and energy and money that we're going to spend on our staff hours for someone else to acquire this for zero money or very little money, and then we still have to deal with the problem.
I believe it's $30,000, not
29,900 and some change. Yeah.
And I guess nowhere in that discussion did I hear the additional liability exposure the city will be taking on to own a building like this for 10 years with no intended uses in an area that does have often transient traffic, and they're getting into these. As I drive the neighborhoods, we're not even boarding up structures anymore. So if we don't have the resources to board up the structures in the neighborhoods where our residents are living, we have no business spending this kind of money on a building in an industrially zoned area that after the sale of Bungie is concluded, that entity may end up wanting this and they could easily buy it themselves because they're the most logical owner of this property. And so regardless, the current funding cycle for demolitions would not allow this structure to be torn down for 15 to 20 years. So it's not 10 years, it's once again $30,000. The people that we've had come to this meeting, you could tear down the houses next to them at least for the $30,000 and you wouldn't have that. We don't have people in and out of these buildings. It is secured, and once again, there's a property owner. So if we do not hold that property owner to standard, then that's shame on us, considering we have 9 inspectors in this community now. So the council can vote as they choose. When I begin walking the neighborhoods, I will be carrying this picture to show the people next to the other houses this is what the administration thinks is the priority. So that's your choice, Mayor.
Well, as always, as I told you when you were an audience member, the truth is the light of the world, and to say that we aren't boarding up houses is absolutely unfactual. If they are houses that you are aware of that are unboarded, I can almost assure you that our staff is unaware of them. So if you would do the same thing, provide the same courtesy that we ask our citizens to provide and let us know where theirs are, absolutely we'll get them boarded up. But to say that we don't board them up, that's absolutely false.
Okay, so we have 6 inspectors, but I need to point out which houses are not boarded up. I'll get busy on that here in a few weeks. Thank you.
Very good. Thanks, Director Arens. Appreciate your commentary. The bottom line is we have a problem and we can either address it or we can't. Under the previous administration, which you were a large part of, we chose not to address them, and that's one of the reasons why our city looks the way it does. So I'm asking the council this evening to address a problem.
If I could respond, since the mayor wants to address that to me, we did not have $25 million to clean up this city, and we did not spend $17 million in Garfield Park. Those were not the priorities. Thank you.
We neither had $25 million to clean up the city, and you know that. So if you wish to continue to lie, that's your choice.
Okay, moving on to the item at hand here, 115 North Washington. Any other comments? Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Wands,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Hightower,
No.
Johnson,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Poor,
Yes.
Streebing,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
Teague,
No.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Jones,
No.
Arns,
Nope.
Cooper,
No.
8 yes.
8 yes, motion passes. 11B is an ordinance amending Chapter 51, Storm and Sanitary Sewers of the City Code pertaining to sanitary sewer discharges from industrial users. Move to dispense reading, ask for approval, need a second, please.
Second.
Comments?
Chairman,
Yeah.
Director.
Yeah, I wanted to ensure that some questions that were asked of me were just the answers were afforded to everybody on the council so that we were able to just have good discussion about this. So just wanted to walk through some of the answers to my questions. I have been working on this all day, trying to make sure I got it out as quickly as possible, and unfortunately, even the people that asked it didn't get it in a very timely manner to be able to probably look it over. So anyway, so currently, just this is kind of informational for all of you to consider. So currently 14.8% of our sewer income comes from industrial users. And so as I discussed last week with the how this change got spurred in our sewer ordinance, Owens Corning received a water meter change. How our current billing is set up, it's by water meter usage. When the meter got changed by Aqua, it ended up changing their usage tenfold. So pulled some of the previous data that they had, and on average, over a 17-month period, their average was $1,845.75 was the average bill they were receiving. And after the meter swap, they went to $17,797. So tenfold there. I rounded last week, but I have exact numbers for tonight. Moving forward, our budget, when we did the budget for this current fiscal year that we are in, it was not the water meter change had not happened yet. Therefore, we were budgeting for their income to be what the average has been today, before that. So for the lower rate. So that being said, let's see, let me get back to here. Okay, so that being said, for a yearly average, just so that when we budget, we look at the whole year as a whole. For yearly average, prior to the meter being changed, and what we had anticipated in this year's budget was about $22,000, just under or just above. And after the meter swap, so now we're tracking and trending towards an income into the sewer fund of about $213,500. These are rounded, but very close. So anyway, and so if this ordinance is passed, we would be looking at an average yearly income of about $85,000. So with just out of making sure we're clear here, so if the ordinance passes, what we are looking at from what we currently are to after this ordinance passes is a loss of revenue of $128,000. But that being said, our current budget did not anticipate that extra, and so we're actually even after this ordinance passes, based on what was originally budgeted, we're actually going to see an increase in revenue of $63,000. That being said, as far as adjusting for any expenses this year and adjusting for any projects that we might that we have coming up, we don't anticipate a need to do that with Owens Corning's flow data being taken into account with this ordinance being passed. So that being said, outside of Owens Corning, we wanted to look at, what kind of a financial analysis here. Our other industrial users provide a total yearly average of $1.25 million in sewer revenues. And so we kind of did just some quick math there on those. And so just for thought here, if other users did the same thing, for every 5% reduction of flow data or basically of flows that happen, we would lose an additional $62,500 in revenue. And so the other thing we did was basically take all of our users, all of their flows, and say, okay, if every single one of them listed, were able, due to their processes and how things work, if all of them were able to prove a reduction of flow the same as Owens Corning, what would that number look like? Now, please understand, just knowing what industry is in town and what processes, I don't have knowledge of every single one of them, but just knowing what I know of the other industries in town, that's highly unlikely, but just, hey, let's just look what that number is. So over that, if we were to reduce that rate, so Owens Corning is going to their rate is going to reduce by 60%. So we take that same 60% for every single user, and so we would lose roughly $750,000 a year in average income. So I just am providing that information as okay, so this is just having understanding and trying to look at the numbers and really help everybody wrap their head around it. So that being said, when we have places like Krupp, Danville Metal Stamping, things of that nature that are all other industrial users, we tend to understand a little bit, not everything, but a little bit of what their functions are, and knowing that they don't burn off the same amount of water as Owens Corning does. So just wanted to provide that information and food for thought as you guys get into discussions. And so anyway, that's kind of additional information from last week. But just as a synopsis, basically this ordinance is we're going to allow industrial users to monitor their outflow and be charged according to their outflow. And currently we only allow for the inflow, which is those flows are provided to us by Aqua Illinois.
Alderman Dean.
I have some follow-up questions because
right.
I want to make sure that I understand correctly.
All right.
Okay, so Owens Corning, their bill went from around $1,800 to around $17,000 a month.
Yes.
And then you said there was $22,000 budgeted. That's just for their facility?
That is just for their facility only, correct.
And then there were some things that you said there, and I thought I understood, but then you said some other things, and I'm like, well, no, then that didn't click with what I thought. So I think there might be nuance.
Okay.
So we are budgeted for $22,000 for their facility.
Yes.
Then with the increase because of the meter change, when you said there's loss of revenue of 128, that's really potential revenue because of the increase in cost?
Yes. So currently what they're on track with after the meter change, they're currently on track for an average yearly income to the city for $213,500-ish. So that is what they're currently on track for.
Right.
So we've increased from 22 to 213,000 as far as revenues to the city go. With this ordinance changing, that would go to 85,000.
Okay.
So that's where that difference comes in, yeah.
Okay. I was tracking with that. So to be clear, they are at 22. We had budgeted them at 22 because it was based on their previous meter.
Yes.
With the meter change, the potential income is what did you say, 213?
213. That's actually what they are being billed that rate
Correct.
right now. Yeah, on a monthly.
If that was their payments were to continue at the rate that they are now, the
Yes.
potential income amount would be 213.
Yes.
So the 128 loss is not an actual 128 loss. That was the part that I was like, wait, that doesn't track. It's not actual loss, it's potential loss.
Correct.
Because of what the maximum amount of income could be.
Yes, correct.
So with this ordinance change, they go from 22 to 85, which is still more than what we had budgeted, but less than what they could have potentially paid.
Yes, a $63,000 interest or difference.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Well, as all of you know, I've had, along with many others, including the industrial customers and other businesses, issues with the ordinance since it was created. As you can see in the document that I provided to everyone, at the time this ordinance was created, obviously it was a bit controversial. Limited time, you'll see various aldermen indicating that. But I want to hit on a couple of highlights. I certainly support and agree that industrial customers should be billed based on their outflow, not their intake. So I'm not in dispute with that. However, I believe businesses like Owens Corning deserve other considerations that were not taken into account when this ordinance was created. The fact of the matter is a lot of their expenses, because we're charging for stormwater expenses based on their sanitary sewer flow. The two have nothing to do with one another. And in most cases, as it relates to fees versus taxes, there should be a correlation between the fees and the services provided. And in this case, there is no correlation because you're charging people for stormwater based on their sanitary sewer flows, and our own ordinances prohibit those two from mixing, okay? So what happened in all of this was there was desire to move the money, according to the mayor, as indicated there, because it never should have been into that fund. But as I indicated at the time, if you wanted to correct that problem, all you had to do is move the expenses for stormwater back into the streets budget, where it had come from for 50 years prior to that. The reason most communities pay for it through their streets is because our streets are actually the largest creator of stormwater. They're also a large conveyor, but they are also the largest single impervious area. And at the present time, the street does not make a contribution to the stormwater expenses. It's all borne by property taxpayers and individuals like Owens Corning who are paying an excessively high amount, who have already created detention and paid for it on site, and who are already paying a stormwater fee out there in Eastgate. So they're actually being double billed for stormwater. And so as I shared with the mayor, and I asked the mayor to withdraw this and take it to a study session for more time, and I would certainly agree that Owens Corning and all the businesses would be able to be grandfathered in to August 1 for any changes that are made. But this problem is much larger than just what is being proposed for a fix here tonight. There are businesses, and based on the ones that I've spoken to in the last day or two, they were not contacted regarding this change, the large industrial customers. I personally believe, and they reinforced, that at least one of their major discharges does not touch a city sewer. Now, if they were to install this partial flume, and it is only required on the city sewer, because that's what the city is billing for, the city will lose $400,000, not theoretically, actuality. And so this is a much bigger revenue issue, I think, potentially, than the 138 or whatever that number is. And so it requires more attention, it requires more study, and I am glad that the city is finally choosing to support the businesses by addressing this, but they're still being punished for something they're not creating. Our senior citizens are paying a disproportionately large amount for stormwater expenses because it's on their sewer bill. Whereas places like the Village Mall that have massive expanses of asphalt and impervious area, they pay virtually nothing because there's nobody there using the toilets. So this is not an equitable tax or fee. It was discussed at that time. I'm not aware of a single other municipality of 20,000 or larger that bill this way. And there is some suggestion that when this stormwater was started up in Champaign-Urbana, a public entity suggested that they shouldn't have to be paying because they're tax exempt. The courts found that if you're going to charge a fee, it's different than a tax. And so the fee should have a direct correlation or a nexus tied to the cost of the services provided. We don't charge people for plowing their street on their garbage bill. We don't charge people for other expenditures that are in the enterprise funds. The sanitary sewer budget and the discharges should not be what determines what someone's stormwater contributions are, let alone the 30+ industries or businesses out in East that are paying double. I don't understand why they weren't exempted from either one or the other. But even more problematic than that is that no one can tell you what you're paying for stormwater. Okay? Transparency in taxation, truth in taxation. If we're charging people for stormwater, why can't we put that on the bill what they're paying? Why doesn't Mr. Stallcup and all the other businesses know what they're paying for stormwater so that we can give them credits for all the investment they've already made to not put stormwater into our system? And so this was an ill-conceived approach from the beginning. I think it's recognized by many now, more so than prior to. And I assure you, Owens Corning has experienced this billing change. Everybody else experienced it 5 years ago and been paying the price for 5 years. The group of industrial customers and the large business units of this community, their sewer fee increased 210%. 210%. Now, if we were a privately owned entity and had to answer to the ICC, when's the last time you heard of Aqua or Ameren getting a 200% rate increase? 210% is what we charge to our businesses because we weren't willing to address stormwater in another fashion. And so while I support this part, it is a very small part and is a minute part. And I guess if we're going to vote on this, is the mayor and the administration willing to agree that they will not come back and ask to raise sewer fees for the next 5 years?
What I would say to you is that there are parts of what you said that I absolutely agree with, and there are parts that I don't. To say that as the Director of Public Works, you would have never agreed to a freeze of fees for 5 years. In fact, you often came back to us asking for substantially more.
With all due respect, Mayor, we're not talking about when I was a director. What we're talking about is here before us this evening.
Right.
And what I will tell you is there's plenty of money in this budget to not touch the fees if we would address the stormwater problem. And so that's my question is, are we going to continue to ignore the stormwater problem, or is that going to be on the agenda for the next Public Works Committee meeting? Because it all needs to be fixed. And while Owens Corning will benefit from this, others may too. How does somebody fill a $500,000 hole? That's what it's likely to be. And so are we going to charge a business that doesn't touch a city sewer $300,000 to $400,000 because they're in the city of Danville? Because that's not provided for in this. This does not address that situation.
Well, although it's not been final, we have done a review and we disagree with the assessment that the business that you're speaking of does not go into any city sewer. So if they do go into any city sewer, as we do with residents and everyone else, we would still charge them the same rate. So I don't believe I think that that's a situation that doesn't exist. And the bottom line, I'm sorry if I may finish. The bottom line is I recall previously there was a big effort to try to create a separate stormwater fee, and it wanted to disproportionately charge the poorer folks in our community who pay less property taxes more than we charge the big industrial users or other people. Under the system that we have now, all users are paying the same amount, whether you are a business or whether you're a poor widow on the East End. Everyone pays the same amount. Before, our businesses were paying far less in their rate than our citizens were. So our citizens were subsidizing for years the sewer fees of our business individuals. But what I would say is absolutely I'm committed to examine it and see what we need to do. But my thought process is this: whether you collect it all under a sewer fee, or whether you create a whole nother fee and you're charging people the same amount or more, as has been suggested by some folks, it is the same. They don't care if you call it the man under the moon, or if it's a sewer fee or a sanitation fee or a public sewer or a storm sewer fee, or if you have just a sewer fee or you have a sewer fee and a storm sewer fee, you're still going to be charging people. You have to collect the same amount of money and or more under scenarios that are being suggested. So absolutely, I'm willing to explore all of those things. No, am I willing to commit to a freeze for 5 years? No. As I said when I became mayor, I will not take more money from you than we have to, but I also could never commit to a freeze because the truth is that freeze is dishonest. Look at George W. Bush. Read my lips, no new taxes. That's one of the main things that cost him the election because he wasn't honest with people. And I'm not going to sit here and lie and be dishonest with the people and tell them that we're never going to have to collect more money, because I don't believe that that's true.
Okay,
But what I will commit to is that we will absolutely assess it, and we will not collect more than we need to do a good job. The truth is, and I think if you were to assess this, you would probably agree, in order to actually get where we need to be, we should be charging people more. I don't like the thought of charging people more, but if we're honest, if we want to really get their sewers fixed the way that they should, we probably should be charging more. You mentioned private entities. If we were a private entity, their sewer fees would probably be more than double of what they already are, because we have not kept up with sewers the way we have in this town, and that's why we have sewers collapsing all over this town, and that's one of the reasons why we made the change that we did.
I'll be looking forward to the SSO reporting information and other things that verify and document that. Actually, based upon what I've seen in the information I have today, I don't think the problems are anywhere near what they once were. We don't seem to have call-outs at the frequency we once did, but I look forward to the study. But I would remind that what was on the books before it was suggested that money from the sales tax could not be applied for stormwater. The fact, Mayor, of what it was before the 0.25% was moved out, property owners weren't paying anything. It was the retail centers where a lot of those big parking lots are created and where a lot of them don't have retention and detention like businesses. So what you're proposing is to continue that push. Now, it was suggested at that time, according to this, the records, that it was not legal under state law statutorily to use a sales tax to fund storm sewers within an enterprise fund. But what was never stated is why it was not possible. It was chosen not to because it was a cash grab for the general fund. You simply could have moved stormwater back into the streets budget and the sales tax would have applied. And guess what? Property owners wouldn't be punished. Mr. Stallcup wouldn't be paying a penny for stormwater because he's already paid for it twice, as well as all the other 30 industries. So I guess I have a question here. As it states, you know, the mayor said the money never should have been there in the first place. Then why are we doing that with the pool? The pool is shown as an enterprise fund in our budget, and the pool is receiving over $250,000 from the general fund. According to this, you say that's statutorily unacceptable. So why?
The pool was not intended to be established as a enterprise fund, and
it is in your budget as an enterprise fund.
I understand that it wasn't intended to be established that way, but I will remind everyone that the 0.25% tax was originally supposed to all go to Fund 310 for demolitions, but when certain folks didn't get what they wanted in terms of having a separate stormwater fee, then after we passed the budget for this 0.5% increase, half of that money was then stolen and given to stormwater. So the money that was supposed to originally go to all the blight elimination that you've discussed and that you're so vigorous about was taken for other purposes to be used by Public Works.
So when aldermen choose to fund things, they're stealing. Is that correct? Because that was an aldermanic decision. That was not a staff decision.
It was a very small vote.
Are we stealing tonight?
No, sir. But what I would say is the bottom line is we have an opportunity right now to provide relief for our industries. We always hear about whether or not we're business industry. We've fought and we've lost major industries, and I think that we need to do everything that we can to try to keep our industries here. And this is one small step in that direction to help keep our industries here. There are so many places that are consolidated. It's not Fiber Tech, an independent company anymore, where we have local control or authority or limited control from outsiders. This is a part of a multinational conglomerate where Mr. Stallcup is certainly the leader locally, but he doesn't make final decisions on things like that. So in my opinion, although this is not a perfect solution, it is a first step in helping make sure that we retain businesses in our community, and that's why I'm asking you to support it.
Okay, so the business that is not connected with its processed water, okay, so I just want to be clear. You said that the staff and yourself believe that that is not accurate regarding that industry. I just don't know if you've taken into the consideration that domestic water goes to the city sewer, processed water goes to the interceptor, because that's how it is. And so when you say that's not correct, you're the one that's wrong. You can ask that of the industry itself. I met with them this afternoon. And so my question to you is, once again, are you going to continue to bill them in excess of $300,000 when they are not touching a city sewer without water?
If they are not connected to the sewer, then we would have to reduce that money because we have to make sure that we treat everyone correctly. But I do believe that they are correct, that they are connected. So we'll have to see. The bottom line is this is a step to help those industries who are here stay here. And, you know, the bottom line is, honestly, as mayor, the easier thing for me is to do nothing. The easier thing for me is to look at Mr. Stallcup and his board and say, you know what? I'm sorry, guys. Everybody else has bitten the bullet. You're going to have to bite the bullet too. I'm not willing to. I know that what we have is, you know, we could do something to help you, but we're going to choose to do nothing. And so I'm asking people to choose to do something to help our industries. Again, it's not a perfect solution. We could lose revenue, but the bottom line is we need to help keep our businesses here.
I agree 100%. I'm asking we do more, not less.
And the more that you're asking, absolutely could be examined. But as you very well know, because you've done this for a lot longer than the rest of us have around this table, it's not a simple or an easy process. It takes time and it takes effort.
Any other comments, discussion?
Just one question. So this is gonna be a $12 increase a year for homeowners too, isn't it?
No.
Is there a dollar raise for homeowner, single family?
This doesn't have any proposed raises.
What's this user charge here adjustment?
I think that's old language.
That's old language.
Okay.
That's the annual adjustment.
That's correct.
Which still takes place.
But it ends this next year. But it's not that, Alderman Cooper, that's not an addition. That's something that's already in existence.
Okay.
Okay, other comments, questions? Roll call.
Alderman Streebing,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
Teague,
Yes.
Ludwig. Yes. Jones,
Yes.
Arns,
Yes.
Cooper,
Yes.
Wands,
Yes.
Pashard,
Yes.
Hightower,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
4,
Yes.
13 yes.
13 yes, thank you. 11C is a resolution approving the Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report, CAPER, for program year 2024. Move to dispense reading, ask for your approval. Need a second.
Second.
Questions, comments? Up, Alderman T.
I was looking at the table that starts on page 2. So I want to make sure that I'm understanding these numbers correctly. The columns that say expected strategic plan and actual strategic plan are for the entire 5-year period, correct?
Yeah, I'm trying to catch up in my packet here.
It's on page 78 of the PDF.
Your PDF's different than mine, but I think
Okay.
I got it. Yeah, so there should be two different goals and actuals in the CAPER. One is for the annual action plan, and the other is for the progress reporting towards the 5-year consolidated plan.
So Logan, this is, I think what Alderman Teague is asking, is this the progress, this is the progress report, correct? Or is this the actual?
That's not what I'm asking.
I'm sorry.
What I'm asking, so there's 2 different sets of numbers. One has expected strategic plan and one has actual, and then there's a % complete. Then one has expected program year and actual program year and % complete. My assumption is, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, is that the program year is 2024. The strategic plan numbers are for the entire 5-year period.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then are we under a new plan then for 2025 forward?
Yeah, a new 5-year plan.
Okay.
That's correct.
I guess one of the other questions that I have then is, for the numbers for which we did not meet anything in the 5-year period, I guess I'm curious to know why that is. And I can understand, and one of the reasons why I was asking for clarification is because, for example, you have a number at the bottom of table 1, which is at the bottom of page 3, that shows, we met our number for the entire program for support public improvement and infrastructure by 1,187%, right?
Yeah.
So you don't have to do anything in the 5th year because you did it all already. But then we have other places where we had numbers identified for the 5 years. So at the bottom of page 2, the first one being public facilities for non-homeless, special needs, non-housing, community development, where the strategic plan number was 75 and the actual number was 0. And we're at the last year. This is the end of the program, and we haven't done anything. So for those numbers, so there's that one that's at 75. There's also the non-homeless need on the next page, 50. I thought there was a third where there, but maybe it's just the 2, where it seemed like we didn't do anything. So my question is, did something happen? Just what is the reason for those numbers?
Exactly. Public facilities and public services were both, okay. Public facilities was amended out into a separate line code. I am blanking, but the money was moved out. I believe it was for the dwelling place project. The action plan was amended, and that's where that money went. So no public facility goals were reached for that reason. Public services is sitting for that next same reason. The intent is to move that into a project, either homelessness or rehabs, what have you, whatever we everybody sees the need for. But an amendment is planned for it. It was a very minute amount of funding. I believe it was $30,000. So it should be a pretty easy switch over. And then the other numbers, it's confusing. Like for support public improvements in infrastructure, to be quite transparent with you, it's a shot in the dark because at the time of the action plan making or the con plan making, there isn't a roadway or infrastructure project selected. And the real number that you see is like census tract information for Cleveland Avenue being reconstructed right now. So
you're talking about the one that has a 2375?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that number is supposed to be what, citizens or?
Yeah, the best way we can justify it, because a number is mandated in this caper and a goal is mandated, is we pull the census tract, which is how they qualify the project for the income qualification in the first place.
Okay. Then the other thing, let's see. Further down on page 5, I see that there is a table that shows small business assistance. 59 businesses assisted, and then 368 in small business assistance. What type of assistance? Because I did not see a description, and I may have missed it because I didn't read, letter for letter the entire thing. But I skimmed through looking for it. I did not see anything specifically that outlined or even provided an overview of what the business assistance was.
Yeah, this was when HUD provided the city of Danville, I think it was 3 rounds of CARES Act funding just to be circulated through the CDBG program. And that was the rental assistance, small business, and micro business grants. And that was like the other state and federal business support grants. They were receipt-based during COVID for business expenses and reimbursement for those, essentially.
So that is the HUD assistance that was provided counts as part of this program?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it did fall within this 5-year consolidated plan, so that's why it's being listed in this caper.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the only other thing, and this is not so much of a question, just more of a commentary. I think one of the concerns that I have just in general as it relates to the numbers, and it's just a personal opinion of mine, is that we have done twice as many demolitions as we have done rehabilitation. And so that is, I would love to see more houses rehabbed and torn down, but that's just my personal beliefs. I have no problem with eliminating blight, but eventually we're going to reach a place where people won't have any place to live or move to when they want to move to Danville, because we've torn everything down and we haven't done enough rehabilitations. And when I'm driving around my neighborhood and over also by, because our ward is kind of stretched out, over by Alderman O'Kane's area of the ward as well, and seeing some properties, both residential and commercial, that seem to be falling down, but then seeing houses that were still standing get torn down, it just doesn't make sense to me. And then also seeing houses that I know that are owner occupied that could have been rehabilitated or should be rehabilitated and not yet rehabilitated yet bothers me as well. So I would love to be able to see, and I don't recall, if you could send the current plan, that would be great, because I don't recall what the numbers are in terms of rehabilitation. And I know we got a lot of grants on rehabilitation, so that number should be changing. But I would love to be able to see the rehabilitation number exceed the demolition number.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to provide some hopefully positive support information to your comments is, I believe that we're heading in the direction to where that goal will be met of way more rehabilitation, hopefully no more demolition funds. So the reduction on this year's action plan that's being reviewed by HUD in the 5-year plan was a drastic reduction. It wasn't 50% reduction of funding, but it was to the tune of $100,000 to $150,000 reallocation from demo to rehabilitation. So hopefully we can start snowballing in that direction, and that was the intent behind that as well. But I can absolutely give you all the numbers.
Okay, that would be great. Thank you.
Other questions, comments? Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Pickering?
Yes.
Teague?
Yes.
Ludwig?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Barnes?
Yes.
Cooper?
Yes.
Wands?
Yes.
Bouchard?
Yes.
Hightower?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
O'Kane?
Yes.
Poor?
Yes.
Streebing?
Yes.
13 yes.
13 yes, thank you. 11D is a resolution awarding the contract for bid number 779, the Lynch Road pavement overlay. Move to dispense read and ask for your approval. Need a second.
Second.
Questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Teague?
Yes.
Ludwig?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Barnes?
Yes.
Cooper?
Yes.
Wands?
Yes.
Bouchard?
Yes.
Hightower?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
O'Kane?
Yes.
Poor?
Yes.
Streebing?
Yes.
Pickering?
Yes.
13 yes.
13 yes, thank you. 11E is a resolution awarding the contract for bid 781, Poland Road stormwater improvements. Move to dispense read and ask for approval. Need a second.
Second.
Questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Ludwig?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Barnes?
Yes.
Cooper?
Yes.
Wands?
Yes.
Bouchard?
Yes.
Hightower?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
O'Kane?
Yes.
Poor?
Yes.
Streebing?
Yes.
Pickering?
Yes.
Teague?
Yes.
13 yes.
13 yes, thank you. Resolution 11F, approving the purchase of a wide area mower. Move to dispense read and ask for your approval.
So
Second.
moved.
Second.
Okay. Not an HR 5116, but what the heck. Any questions, comments? Alderman T.
Are we going to be able to, this is a piece of equipment and not a person, so are we going to be able to increase the amount of mowing that we do of city-owned properties?
Most definitely. Yes. We have one of these pieces of equipment already that we purchased, I think, 2 years ago. And it greatly increased from the Jacobson wide area mowers that we had been using, greatly increased our productivity. So we're bringing a second one on and moving the other Jacobson that we have in our active arsenal to a backup mower, and this will go into that. So yeah, it should very much so increase our productivity.
Especially parks and things, right? Isn't that what you said?
Yep, so parks and then the big right-of-ways, we're also using it there, such as on Lynch Road and Route 150, the kind of main thoroughfares coming into town that have pretty wide right-of-ways and a lot of grass that we mow on those two spots.
So is there a trickle-down effect then as it relates to this versus residential areas? And the reason why I'm asking the question is because one of the complaints I hear often is that the city requires that its citizens adhere to a standard that we're not actually meeting ourselves when it comes to maintenance. So that's part of the reason why I'm asking the question, because I've driven by houses that were recently torn down this spring, and I know there is I know one specific on James Place, because my mother happens to live on that street, that one of the biggest complaints about that house was the overgrowth on that house and at that house. And now that the property's been torn down, it looks just as bad as it did when it still had a house there.
Understood. So we're doing our absolute best as far as, so I guess the answer to the trickle down effect would be, those would be two separate crews of people that currently are maintaining those lots. However, what we are currently doing this year, due to some questions that I believe you asked last year, we have a new GIS system where we are tracking our productivity on all of our mowing and keeping track of how often lots are being mowed, and kind of coming up with basically man hours per acre that we are able to now going to be able to use to, okay, now we can start manipulating it as far as different equipment that we can use and things of that nature. So I guess then my answer to the trickle-down effect would be yes, with collecting that data and with experiencing new equipment like this, it is very possible that we're able to start really getting through things a lot quicker and honing in on the best possible practices we can use.
Okay, that would be great. And one thing that I will add to that then is that I was told by your former manager that the East End grows faster than the rest of town. I can also attest to that based on how often my lawn has to be mowed. So if you can come over east a little bit more often, that probably would be helpful.
Understood.
I've got a comment.
Yeah.
I've got a place that's out there on Porter Street and Seminary. And I watched a new gentleman who just got hired back when we started. He just got a job to help mow. And there had been all kinds of limbs and everything tossed. And I tried to help him move some of them. Some of them were so big. He said, "Don't worry about that. I'll have the city come out here and they'll remove them so I can mow this thing." That has been 2 months ago. They're still sitting there. And people have started to bring, this is an abandoned church. And people have started bringing it. And right now it's about 6 to 8 foot tall. And they're not mowing underneath it. They're just mowing around it. And the city never did come pick the stuff up.
You said that was on Porter Street?
Yeah, on Porter and Seminary, right on the corner.
All right, I'll make a note of that.
All right, anybody else? Roll call, please.
Alderman Jones,
Yes.
Barnes,
Yes.
Cooper,
Yes.
Wands,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Hightower,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Tor,
Yes.
Streebing,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
Teague,
Yes.
Ledwig,
Yes.
13 yes.
13 yes, thank you. 11G is a resolution amending the fiscal year 25-26 budget and creating new revenue fund line for the zoning verification letter fee schedule. Moves been read and asked for approval and need a second. Okay, Alderman T.
I don't believe this was on the agenda for last week, so I'm curious to
It was
know
not.
what is this for?
Yeah. This was an amendment to Chapter 150, so it went to the commission first, just like the zoning petition, and came straight to council. Essentially, there has, due to technology upgrades, the city of Danville has been receiving, to the extent of spam, from these mega corporations and consulting companies that are requesting zoning verification letters, and they're 3 to 4 pages long of questions. It's typically around 1 year I don't know what requirements the private entities have that requires these zoning verification letters. I wonder if they're insurance purposes. So they hire these corporations to submit the same form every year, and they just keep getting longer. So the intent behind this, on the record, is not for the local businesses requesting for, can you verify the use and zoning of this property? They will not be charged $125 for that. The intent behind this is to charge $125 for the continuous spam from these corporations every year that are taking the city's staff valuable time to fill out. They average about 30 minutes per, and that's the intent of getting some administrative costs back for the countless ZBLs we're receiving.
Anybody else? Roll call, please.
Alderman Arns,
Yes.
Cooper,
Yes.
Wands,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Hightower,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Poor,
Yes.
Streebing, Pickering,
Yes.
Teague,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
13 yes.
13 yes. Thank you very much. And 11H, items of information.
Mike, I've got a question, Mike. It'd be a good time to ask since Logan's here. Last year we passed that ordinance for the cannabis shop in Casey's south of 74. What's the word on that?
Yeah, you want? I'll give it my best effort. So I've been doing my best to try to keep tabs on it, just because the city spent a lot of time and amended ordinances for that location. As far as I can tell, that there is a snag between the utility upgrades of gas and electrical being provided to the site. It has to do with capacity, Ameren's willingness to provide upped capacity for what could potentially be a 6-lot subdivision, for example, and Ameren not willing to, and I understand that, not willing to build the utilities up to that 6-lot standard. So that's been the kind of the snag of the whole development, is between the utilities, as far as I can understand. There's not a whole lot the city can do to push that along. Unfortunately, it appears to be between the utility company and the private developers. But yeah, it is worrisome.
Yeah, but is it to the point where?
I have reached out to Ameren and I'm waiting a response.
But is that going to endanger this project? I mean, it's
if
got.
they can't get power and gas, yes, absolutely, it would endanger not only that project but any project to the south.
South of 70.
Yeah,
that's correct.
I'll add to that as well. Is from what I'm hearing is they're looking at 2 different directions to bring the utilities from, either from the south or the north. Either way, they have a bridge to deal with, and it's difficult. But one is not under the jurisdiction of IDOT, which can be, from what I understand, is more tricky than coming from the south. So they keep bouncing back and forth between both directions.
It's more than likely not a 25 project.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would say that's guaranteed. It won't happen in 25. Yeah.
6 foot high.
Yeah.
Big war under it.
That's all I want to know.
Anybody else? Mayor, that concludes the report.
Thank you, Chairman Poor. Item 12, Public Services Committee report, Chairman Streebing.
All right, 12A, we have a resolution authorizing the purchase of a new data center servers from Heartland Business Systems for Informational Technical Division, line number 020. Make the motion to approve and dispense with the reading and ask for approval. I'll need a second.
Second.
Is there any questions on resolution 12A? If not, roll call, please.
Alderman Cooper,
Yes.
Wands,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Hightower,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Poor,
Yes.
Streebing,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
Teague,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Arns,
Yes.
13 yes.
13 yes, thank you. The motion carries. Puts us to 12B, items of information. Agnell, you got anything, or anybody over there?
No, no change.
Yeah, Mayor?
Thank you, Chairman. I want to just commend our Chief Technology Officer, Mr. De Silva, and his team. As you all have seen, everyone is under constant threat and attack lately from hackers all over the world. We have a state-of-the-art team because of the leadership of Agnel, and they've saved us from a lot of things. I just want to remind everyone, don't click on anything suspicious. Don't open any weird emails, because if you could undo all of their great work for us in a matter of one click. So, and if you do click on something, let them know that you think looks bad. As a reminder, let them know right away. And also as another reminder, he's too nice to say it, and I know I need to do this myself, but please make sure you take your technology training ASAP if you haven't already. It will literally protect us.
It's not a scam. It says what? What's the name of that? Agnew, what's the name of that server that sends it to you?
No
before.
No before. Yeah, no before. It's not
No before. That's the
there's
report.
a scam. And Agnew, how much did we end up saving on this? Hundreds of thousands of dollars?
This project, this data center, $350,000 over 5 years.
50,000 in savings over 5 years.
And we'll see those benefits coming starting next fiscal year.
Thank you.
Thank you, Agnell.
Thank you.
Item of information, 12B, we will meet here next Tuesday, July 22nd at 6 p.m. And that concludes our report.
Thank you, Chairman. I apologize, team. However, we do have a need to go into closed session. At this time, I would entertain a motion to go into closed session under Section 2C1 of the Open Meetings Act to discuss specific employees, and under Section 2C2 to discuss salary schedules, and under Section 2C5, purchase of real property, under Section 2C6 to set price for sale or lease of property. Is there a motion to do so?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion or debate? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Wands?
Yes.
Bashard?
Yes.
Hightower?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
O'Kane?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Strebing?
Yes.
Pickering?
Yes.
Teague?
Yes.
Ludwig?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Barnes?
Yes.
Cooper?
No.
12 yes.
12 yes, we are adjourned to closed session. There will be action taken afterwards. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion or debate? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Thank you. We are returned to open session. At this time, we have before you item 14, an ordinance amending section 3907 of the city code pertaining to compensation of municipal employees. Is there a motion to dispense with the reading and for its approval?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion or debate? Yes, Alderman Teague.
I have a question. And so, first of all, I will say to everyone, I didn't read this because I didn't know that it came in email yesterday. I'm not available to read city email during the day. At any rate, the position of rehabilitation technician, because I don't think we talked about why that was changed. Why was that one changed? Is that a old change? Is this a union position?
It's a position that you all previously approved, Alderman, but that was somehow not instated in the wage chart. So it's a cleanup of.
Okay, but then did it have so the salary previously, because it says a salary increase, so that's what it's just at 0 because it was vacant. So now that it's being filled, it's going back to the salary that it was previously? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Any further questions? Roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Wands?
Yes.
Bouchard?
Yes.
Hightower?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
O'Kane?
Yes.
Poor?
Yes.
Streebing?
Yes.
Pickering?
Yes.
Teague?
Yes.
Ludwig?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Arns?
No.
Cooper?
Yes.
12 yes.
12 yes, the motion carries. Are there any items of information for the good of the cause? Having satisfied the agenda, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Have a good week, everyone.